Now, page 4. Life in America, compliments of Dr. Anthony Fauci. Thanks to Mr. Don't Expect Anything Like Normal Anytime Soon, business enterprises like professional sports are attempting to do both the impossible and the contradictory. They are trying to operate their leagues and adhere to Fauci guidelines simultaneously. These goals are mutually exclusive, of course, and it would be insane to think anything otherwise. Yet, here is the National Basketball Association, poised to attempt to salvage its season. The NBA commissioner has a grand plan, don't you know? They are bringing all the players and all the teams into Orlando, Florida, at the Disney complex. The NBA has come up with about 100 pages of new rules for this Wuhan coronavirus sports bubble that they're creating. And the rules read more like something out of Hitler's Germany or the George Orwell novel 1984 than some kind of roadmap toward a normal basketball season. For example, the players must social distance when they're off the court. But what exactly is the point of that if they are knocking shoulders and knocking arms and knocking legs and knocking heads on the court? Players must wear a mask when they're near one another off the court. But what is the point of that if they're face to face with each other, inches apart, playing the game of basketball? And the rules go on and on and on like this, creating levels of access to areas, tiers of operations, based on whether people are coaches and players or support staff. Any violations of these mandated restrictions should be reported, just as Big Brother would dictate. Oh, and if a player or a coach or a support staff decides to leave this protective bubble in which they live and they work to possibly, well, I don't know, go get a burger or a taco or a beer, then when they return, they are subject to a penalty, a 10-day quarantine. This is the new and impossible NBA. Human beings, we cannot operate this way. These restrictions are not going to work because they are impossible and they are contradictory and they lack common sense of the human touch. What's more, think about this. The average age of an NBA player is 26 years old. These young athletes, they need to live life, not just play basketball. What's more, that age group has a virtual zero rate of death by COVID-19. That's right, near zero. But thanks to our dear leader, Dr. Anthony Fauci, this is the new NBA. Surely, if Fauci had his way, Donald Trump would not only be forced to wear a mask 24/7, but the president too would be holed up in some basement somewhere, right along with old sloppy Joe Biden.
Well, I think we have to be careful because we don't know how.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of Anthony Fauci. I'm tired of being careful. You can't go through life living in a bubble. Right, John Travolta? You can't go through life being careful. Otherwise, you never live life. You never enjoy life. We don't have to be reckless, but we don't have to be careful. 450,000. What is that number? 450,000 is the total global deaths due to the Wuhan coronavirus. 450,000 over what now? 6 months of record keeping? There are 5 to 6 billion people on the planet. 450,000? That's nothing. Back when the plague hit in the 14th century, 200 million people were killed. There weren't that many 5 to 6 billion people on the planet back then. It was a fraction of that. This was a huge percentage of the global population that was wiped out. But just sheer numbers to numbers, 450,000 versus 200 million.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.